Do you have someone for Joyce Charles?
Testing, testing. Good morning. My name is Tim Hunter. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. My pronouns are he, him. I don't have a script up here, so I'm going to try to do this from memory. Let's see. Huh? Thank you. Let's see if I can do this. So here are a few of the things that are going on here at the UUCA. On March, what's today's date? March 15th. Okay, so delete March 10th. March 16th, Building and Grounds meeting. On March 18th at 6:30 p.m., we have a cozy craft night. On March 22nd, after worship, we have a town hall meeting, very important, town hall meeting on potential endowment changes. So we'd like to have everyone's input for that. This Thursday at 18:30, 6:30 p.m. for the civilians, which I am actually. We have our, our monthly board meeting, so if you want to be in for a good time, come out to our board meeting, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah, it is indeed a very, very good time. You can check out other events on our various social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, and Realm, an extension of our church community. Let's see. Please, no drinks except for water here in the sanctuary. And did I hit up everything? Oh, yes. So I'm going to pass the mic to Chris now because he has one of our mini Chris's, because he has some important things to talk about.
I'm Chris number 3 or 4, so. All right, good morning, everyone. So I have good news and bad news, right, with regards to the pledge. The good news is that as of today, we have raised $135,000 in pledges. So thank you to everyone who has pledged already. You guys are awesome. Unfortunately, that means we are still pretty far away from our very ambitious goal. I just want to take a moment to talk about what pledging actually does for us, right? For those of us who aren't aware, it's basically you planting a seed in the church, right? We give a promise that we are going to invest this money into this building, this community, and this faith, and allow us to build bigger, build better, and have a larger outreach. It's basically a way that we can invest in something that's bigger than ourselves. And I know for myself, when I first started coming here, 3 years ago already, I didn't really have a lot. And being in this room, in this building, has really helped me, not only as a person on a personal level, but as a community member, learn how to reach out and do more with my talents and my gifts. And I'm hoping that some of y'all have felt that as well. On the logistics side of things, if the stewardship committee hasn't heard from you, we will begin bugging you by phone throughout this week and probably into next weekend. So expect that, and if you see a weird number pop up with a 443 area code, it's just me wanting to say hi and check in on you, see how you're doing, and ask you for money, because ultimately that's what we're doing, right? Let's not get too much out there, but if you do have any questions about the pledge, how to pledge, what pledging means, see myself or any member of the stewardship committee. We have Ms. Whitney back there, Ms. Brandy over there, my lovely wife Dominique over there, and Trania, who unfortunately is not here today, but usually hangs out front with Fern. We'll be glad to answer any questions in person today or any other Sunday, and by any other Sunday I mean today or next Sunday, since we close next Sunday, but expect to be getting phone calls, emails, and texts from us over the next couple of days to see how not only you can help invest in this area, but how we can manage anything that you're willing to give us. Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Augusta. My name is Isaac Ball, and my pronouns are he, him. Our mission here is to create a beloved community acting together with compassion, reason, and respect, empowering us to promote a just society. All right. This is my first time doing this, and so even though I've rehearsed this, I am a little bit unsure, so please bear with me. All right, yeah, thank you. All right. So we are co-creating this service with the wonderful music by Josef Patchen and our choir, the talented people running the tech deck, and all of you. Thank you for bringing your light into this space. If this is your first time visiting with us today, we encourage you to stop by the greeters table where Fern will be able to give you some information about our service. Our membership coordinator is Fern Smith, and she would love to find out what your interests are. There is a blue card in the seat pocket in front of you that can be a good guide for conversation. You are also more than welcome to join us for coffee and snacks after worship in the common room. Existing community members will know newcomers by their green or red name tags. Green means, hey, I would like to talk to you. Please introduce yourself. Red says, I would like to talk to you, but just general greetings for now. I'll be happy to get to know you more later. And for those that are on Zoom, please consider staying online after the service and chat and get connected with each other.
Good morning. I'm the Reverend Holly Brown. My pronouns are they, them. I am the settled minister at the UU Fellowship in Clemson, South Carolina. And I'm so grateful for Reverend Nick asking me to do a pulpit swap with him. So he's at my congregation this morning while I am here with you. And I'm so glad to see so many of you this morning. And I have some opening words for us this morning by Sharon Wiley. It is said that ministers are here to comfort the afflicted and to afflict the comfortable. I say that we are all afflicted and we are all comfortable. I say that we are all afflicted and that we are all comfortable. May we, in our time together this morning, be a comfort and a confrontation. May we here find peace in times of tumult. May we invite tumult into our lives in times of peace. May we have calm in times of restlessness. May we here allow restlessness to evolve into action. Let this be a place you consider what you've never considered. Let this be a place you imagine for yourself, something new and unthinkable. May this hour bring dreams of new ways of being in this world. Come, let us worship together this morning.
So our chalice lighting today, I would like to say what I tell all of my soldiers on Fort Gordon. You are a light in this world, and as a torch lights another, may we all bring each other into the light.
Would you rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, Circle Round for Freedom? We'll sing the whole thing through twice.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris Maurer, hence she, her, and I am a member of the Pastoral Care Committee, and this is the time in our service when we share our joys and sorrows. If you need anything or would like to talk to someone from Pastoral Care, we'll be more than glad to work with you. Thank you.
I'd like to invite you to join me in a spirit of prayer and meditation in these next few minutes. We bow our heads in order to imagine not one path, but many. We imagine a path forward for those who cannot imagine any path forward because of poor health, financial hardship, family crisis, and other roadblocks that we cannot begin to understand or imagine. We struggle to imagine a path forward for those who have been forced to leave their homeland against their will, and for those unable to leave a war-torn homeland despite their lives being in danger. We imagine a path forward for those who leave their homes to make a better life for their families elsewhere. May we be a welcoming presence along that path toward hope. We come together and to imagine a path forward for those of us despairing because we do not seem to know our country nor our neighbors, despite the fact that we are not moved at all, that we have not moved at all. May we be the good that we are hoping to find as we travel side by side down this path toward hope. We imagine a path forward for those who feel lonely. May we take one another's hands as we walk the path toward community. Truly, we know as we imagine these ways forward and take one another's hands, the path will lead to hope. The roads will lead to beloved community, and the arc will bend towards justice because we have dared to travel with love in our hearts. We now join together in a time of silence. And continue in a time of musical reflection.
It is now time to sing our kids out. All right, now is the time where we bring our treasures together to help our mission move forward. Cash and checks are greatly received, or you may use text to give using the information about to appear on the screen. Would the ushers please come forward? Heck yeah. All right. Thank you very much for your generosity. Yes. That doesn't sound like worship mode. It is, it is. All right, so in college, whenever you sit down to write a paper, it is very important that you first define your terms. Can we all agree on that? So in preparation for today's sermon, I have been asked by Reverend Holly that I read an excerpt from a piece titled "Allies Are Not Enough When the World is on Fire" by Dr. Tiffany Jana to help define our terms. Allyship the thinking and learning stage in today's world. An ally is mostly someone who believes in the equal rights of all people, or a specific group of people. An ally is someone who supports equal justice in theory, often with thoughts and prayers, and sometimes with words in small group settings. I believe that contemporary allyship remains entirely too personal and self-centered. You can be an ally and do nearly nothing. If the boundaries of your allyship extend to reading, learning, watching, and privately discussing the much-deserved freedoms of others, that's a great first step. BIPOC allies read books by authors of color to deepen their understanding of racial inequities. LGBTQIA+ allies memorize the acronym and endure the mental acrobatics of requesting and navigating pronouns. They also solidly understand the differences between the acronym's representative identities. Allies begin to level up the more they start speaking up about these ideas, especially in mixed company when people actively disagree or remain clueless about injustice issues. Posting supportive and informative content on social media is nice, but it's not enough. Ally privilege is the ability to care about social justice issues without actually showing up and doing anything about it. A privileged ally often lacks deep, authentic relationships with people in the demographics they support. An accomplice, the reactive response accomplices actively work to dismantle systems of oppression. They have passed through the initial phase of allyship and done the requisite work of learning and understanding their roles in upholding unjust structures. Accomplices flip the dynamic and use what they've learned and whatever access they have to help course correct systemic bias. Accomplices begin to tap their privilege, any personal advantage, earned or unearned, that makes life easier, in service of justice. Some accomplices disrupt and interrogate institutional bias without having access to or relationships with colleagues of color. Being an accomplice is strengthened by underrepresented demographic proximity, but it is not impossible in its absence. Co-conspirator, the proactive phase. Co-conspirators work alongside the community they support. They have, seek, and create meaningful relationships with people they actively support. Co-conspirators show up with, not just for, BIPOC people and/or people of the LGBTQIA community. And they listen. They do not co-opt the cause. Instead, they respect the work already done by the leaders in justice spaces and offer meaningful support. Co-conspirators are not trying to be saviors and do not fancy themselves superior to the people they work alongside. Instead, they are conscious of the privilege that they use and use it as a fuel to help erode barriers that are tougher for affected, apologies, I lost my spot. Instead, they are conscious of the privilege that they have, and they use it to fuel and help erode barriers that are tougher for affected constituencies to surmount. Co-conspirators ask how they can show up for the people already doing the work, and they leverage their privilege in service of freedoms that they already enjoy. I believe that what separates co-conspirators from allies is the willingness to put yourself on the line. That is, the willingness to be uncomfortable, the willingness to get out there and do it, have some skin in the game. Whether it assets reputation, time, connections, or other resources. Co-conspirators always have skin in the game.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive in this great turning. We shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive in this great turning. We shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning, we shall learn to lead in love.
Okay, can y'all hear me? All right. I don't like to stand behind a pulpit, so I'm going to try to be where I see all of you as I am speaking. I intentionally placed this reading and this piece of music next to each other because the question I have is, how shall we be known? How shall we as Unitarian Universalists, as individuals in community, be known? And I realize I'm turning my head, so if y'all have issues hearing me, please let me know. As we move through the world, I believe many Unitarian Universalists would at least fall into the category of ally. At least we think we do. We don't always get it right, even at the ally stage. But I think it's important for us to recognize and pay attention to where we are along our journey, with the intention of not remaining merely allies, but being able to move through those descriptions that Isaac just read of ally moving into a space of accomplice And then finally, co-conspirator. Brittany Cunningham has an illustration that she credits to Beverly Daniels that elucidates this long wordy thing in a little bit more of a visual way. So if you could imagine 4 different lanes on the road, and in each lane is a person. The person in the first lane is just running along, enjoying the status quo, not really noticing any of the ills of the world that are affecting them. And instead is just kind of willing to just keep going, keep trucking along. But then the person in the second lane is slowed down, still walking, but looking around, going, something doesn't feel quite right. Okay? Something doesn't feel quite right, but that's the ally. Recognizing that there is an issue, reading about it, learning about it, trying to understand. But then the third lane is that of the accomplice. Now, this person has turned around and is facing in the opposite direction, starting to ask people, hey, what's going on? Why is all of this happening? And starting to build connections and communities, starting to follow the lead of those that are impacted. But then finally, the person in the fourth lane isn't just turned around, but they are running in the other direction. This person, as a co-conspirator, has a place in the process. They have people that they know and that they are listening to and they are following the example of. Brittany encourages us not to get lost or caught up in the idea of saviorism, or in other words, coming in and taking over thinking that we know best. Has anybody ever I appreciate all of the chuckles because I think many of us think we're doing a really great job and that we know something that somebody else doesn't know, so therefore we should share it. But sharing it does not mean taking over. Does not mean taking over. It means working alongside and willingness to put yourself on the line. So what I mean by that is several years ago, do y'all ever remember hearing about Westboro Baptist Church and just how awful they were at showing up at military services, people that were LGBTQ community with this awful signs? There were a group of people and wings that were set up on these elaborate plexiglass like poles that they could come and stand in between. This was especially important after Pulse nightclub shooting and coming to protect the families. These angels showed up to create a barrier so that the families didn't have to interact directly with Westboro Baptist Church's taunting and hatred. They were willing to put their bodies in the way. There have been instances in protest with Black Lives Matter and LGBTQ pride events in which people are willing to come and put their bodies literally as a barrier. Now, not all of us can do that for a variety of reasons. We are in different places physically. Sometimes we can't show up and be there, but we can support financially. We can offer a place for people to be able to meet. We can follow the lead and listen to what others in community need from us. And as Unitarian Universalists, we have this set of values, this way in which we try to engage in the world with love at the center. And two of our values are justice and equity, and how we create the beloved community, as well as how we work towards recognizing the inherent worthiness of people and their right, not just their right to exist, but their right for love, compassion, and flourishing. If we live into these values, it calls us into action. Now, as our opening word said, as a minister, one of our roles is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. So, if we are all afflicted and all comfortable, sometimes we need to hear messages that do both. As colleague Reverend Leslie Takahashi states, and I know other colleagues as well, the both and of it. Because we are all in places that we may experience discomfort, and we have to be willing to push outside of our bubbles. Because if we don't know others and what they're going through, it's easy to remain in that place of comfort. But comfort is privilege. Let me say that again. Comfort is privilege. And how we pay attention to our privilege and show up and can leverage that privilege in meaningful ways is important. Because somebody that is a person of color, somebody that is especially trans or non-binary, that stand out in community, they cannot hide who they are. They don't have the privilege of being invisible. So every single day is a challenge. It is every single day can be a place of discomfort. And if they're afflicted, so should we. And that doesn't mean that we're always pushing to the max. That doesn't mean that we don't have times to rest, but we must recognize that rest is a privilege and that we have to be willing to get up to go and move again. As the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. told UUs during the Ware Lecture in Hollywood, Florida, back in the 1960s, don't sleep through the revolution. Don't sleep through the revolution, beloveds. And it requires us to kind of pay attention to where we are on our journey. If we're on the first lane over here with allies, start talking to the folks in the second or the third lane. And then if you're in the fourth lane, maybe you go, hey guys, come over here. We've got a lot more to learn. We've got a lot more to do in the ways that we show up. How shall we be known as Unitarian Universalists? How shall we be known? I want to provide another brief illustration before I share my closing words. Perhaps you have seen the cartoon. It circulates on social media on a semi-frequent basis, and it shows at least 3 or 4 panels. And the first one is 3 people standing behind a fence. The tallest one can see over the fence, and there's like a baseball field that they're looking into. But the other 2 can't see over. So equality is all of them getting the same box. But the shortest one still can't see, and the tallest one is now even taller, which wasn't really needed. And moving into a place of equity, you have to also not just the distribution of the boxes. One that I saw recently had someone with a wheelchair. So if you have a wheelchair, how are you going to get up on those boxes to be able to see? And so it had to be converted into a ramp. But then the final panel is that of justice, or liberation, in other words, in which the fence has been taken down. And I hope that our gut reaction isn't, well, why aren't they paying for a ticket? I hope that's not our reaction to that cartoon. Because the point is, if we remove barriers, we are working towards a place of liberation. And our faith has love at the center, but it is not a romantic love. It is not an empty or frivolous love. Instead, it is a love that is grounded in liberation. And I want to read something briefly to you. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values, that we are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. What is the spiritual discipline of love? When we have stepped into a place of discomfort, we need to feel that affliction that others around us might be feeling, because we recognize that love is, in fact, a spiritual discipline. It is a way in which we are accountable to one another in the world around us. As we make promises or covenants to one another, ways to support one another and our ministries that draw from our heritages of freedom, reason, hope, and courage, building upon that foundation of love. May we continue to recognize that love is a spiritual discipline that is holding us, that is guiding us, even in the midst of our hardship. May it remind us to keep our hope alive and to pay attention to where we are along the journey. May it be so. May we make it so. And blessed be.
We are a gentle, angry people.
Singing for our lives.
As our benediction today, I invite you to remember to pay attention as you go forth in the world today and all of the days ahead of us. May you go in peace and return in love.